Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Serge from the Brawler Cafe, bringing you the buyer's guide for competitive players. So I've been doing a lot of analysis, a lot of testing with all the Wave 1 stuff, and have figured out a lot of what's good and what's not. I'm going to be doing a bunch of videos over the course of the next few weeks, talking about like each attribute, each faction, the Bakugan. Basically, I'm going to be doing a video on each faction's Bakugan and their evolutions, talking about which ones are good, and the card pools, the actions, heroes, and flips of each of those factions I will also talk about in a separate video. But before any of that, I thought I would do a little buyer's guide video walking through all of the products available in Wave 1 and letting you know which ones for the competitive player are the best ones to pick up. Now, if you want to be playing the TCG, you're going to want to be starting off with one of these starter sets. Now, I don't think these starter sets are super high quality overall, but there are some very, very good Bakugan exclusive to them, and some of them are passable, and like they get you started with a deck. So let's go through each of them. The first one we have here is Aquos Garganoid Ultras, which also comes with, I'm going to be using the Amazon listings here, of course, as well as the Brawler Cafe card sheet, which you can find on brawler.cafe. Yeah, link in the description probably. But regardless, this one comes with Aquos Garganoid, Darkest Hydrus Core, and Ventus Fangor Core. Now, the exclusive here is Aquos Garganoid Ultra. Garganoid Ultra is a fairly decent, it has a powerful Evo, decently powerful Evo, that I haven't really found many decks that really fits into, but it's something that could have a lot of potential for the future. Its Evo is 5 cost, 906, and it has the victor ability to copy the next action you play, which is very, very strong. I don't think there are, but this isn't something that is going to go into a lot of decks. This is the sort of thing that like is going to go into a specific deck that's built for it, and like this isn't some like very high usability Bakugan that you're going to want to be throwing in a bunch of decks. But this starter set also comes with Ventus Fangor, which is an extremely high usability Bakugan. Basically, this is the go-to Ventus Bakugan for any slower deck that's carrying Ventus, because Ventus Fangor, when it opens, reduces all of the opposing Bakugan, even the ones on the bench, by 1 damage rating, and its evolution, which is only 2 costs, upgrades that to reducing by 3. So you'll be reducing the team attack damage by 9 total, which typically will like half the damage you're taking from that team attack, and could potentially do even more than that. Reduce it by even more than that. And this comes with 2 of Aquos Garganoid Ultra's Evo and 2 of Ventus Fangor's Evo. So very good in that department. Ventus Fangor can also be found as a single core single, and I don't think it comes in any of the other products. No, it does not come. Ventus Fangor does not come in any of the other products, but it does come here, and it comes in a core single. So if you just want Ventus Fangor, it's easy enough to pick up there. None of the cards in the starter set are really great. Like, this is the worst starter set for sure. When it, like, other than the Evo cards, this starter set is the worst when it comes to cards. The high rarity stuff that comes in is Stomping Quake, and Night Lightning are not very good. The action cards in general in it aren't very good. Tragically, despite being the only starter set that includes the Darkest Bakugan, it does not include Pact of Darkness, which is like the only good flip in the game right now. So that's unfortunate. And the hero card that comes with China Riot is a card that isn't very good right now because there aren't enough. Like, China Riot is a card that has a lot of potential for the future, but there aren't really cards to enable it. So China Riot is a card that you play for free when you discard it. But the discarding stuff, like, there isn't enough good cards there right now to make a deck around it. As for the cores you get in here, nothing really, like, there's nothing really of high note here. There's a decent Fire Fist Trap Core at -5 damage. That's the best Trap Core for Fire Fist. There's a Helix plus 300B plus 3 damage. But I think... No, that one come in. That is Fangzor. But I believe you can get that in other places. But honestly, this is the starter set that I think is the absolute worst. I wouldn't pick this one up. Moving on from there, we have the Chaos Howl Core. The Chaos Howl Core, yes. This one is very nice. Card-wise, I think this is the best one. So, exclusive to this one is the Aurelius Pegatrix, which is very good for, like, if you're building, like, a Fist-based deck, which the normal Chaos Pegatrix also fits very nicely in, too. You really want Aurelius Pegatrix. You really want that. As for Chaos Howl Core Ultra, this is also exclusive to this. Not very good. Like, it is 304 with a bonus on Helix, and then it evolves at 6 cost into a 1306, or was it 5 damage? Regardless, 6 cost for just a vanilla. It does retain the Helix plus damage boost, but, like, it's not a good card. That Evo is just not very good. Unfortunately, you only get one of the Hyper Pyrus Dragonoid in this. We, of course, have Pyrus Drago in here, and Pyrus Drago has one of the most powerful evolutions. But I still won't say that it's in super stable territory. After doing a lot of testing, I found that Drago kind of needs a very specific deck, because the Dan Kuzo plus Titan Drago combo is one that basically every faction has an out to, and basically every competitive deck will be carrying that out. Not just for Titan Drago, but because they're generally useful cards. So Drago isn't something super essential. Like, none of the Bakugan here are really super essential. But Drago is a solid card. If you want to build around it, it's very easy to build around it. It's the card that really asks you to build around it. And Pegatrix fits very nicely into a Fist-based deck. So if you like Pegatrix a lot, the Fist-based deck is basically Aurelius Pegatrix plus Chaos Pegatrix plus something else of your choosing, really. So yeah, if you want that sort of deck, I highly recommend Aurelius Pegatrix. As far as raw stats go for Aurelius Bakugan, there are better things than Pegatrix, because there are things that have come in with 700 power. But onto the cards that come in it. So there's a lot of really good stuff in here. Consort, Light's Courage, Hot Potato, Inferno Wings. Inferno Wings is a really good SR. Like, this is like Pyrus's best action, and you get one of it in here, and it's an SR. What else? Philomena Dusk is okay. Hyper Aurelius Pegatrix is a good Evo, but overall I think this is like the best one for cards, and this one has a pretty decent curve, which is not something I think I can really say over here. Like, there isn't a whole lot of stuff going on with the effects here. Like, it's hard to really see that as a proper deck. For the cores, we once again have the Helix plus 300 plus 3 damage here. So if you want that, you can get that here. And the plus Frost Strike, I think that's like fairly rare at this point. I can't remember actually seeing that anywhere else in the current line. Yeah, that is the only place you can get the Frost Strike Helix core. But Frost Strike is not very good right now, because flips are not very good right now. So it's not something that would be really in high demand, but I would keep in mind that this is the only place you can get that core right now. And then lastly, we have Pyrus, the Pyrus Hadorus Ultra. Yeah. Once again, our two exclusives here are Pyrus Hadorus Ultra and Chaos Nilius. Pyrus Hadorus Ultra, nothing to write home about, but Chaos Nilius is extremely good. Very, very good Bakugan. Chaos Nilius has decent stats of 305, comes in with Magic Shield and Flaming Fist, and it has one of the strongest evolutions in the game. Chaos Titan Nilius is a 4-cost 808, which has the Magic Shield ability of plus 200B, and you attach a Baku Core, another Baku Core from anywhere on the field onto it. And then it has another core effect. When it's on a Flaming Fist, it gets plus 4 damage. Yeah, it was plus 4 damage. Yeah, so like land on a magic shield or use Consort, which I mentioned comes in the Chaos Hellcore Ultra one. Very good general Chaos card, especially for any like decks focused on a specific core type. Yeah, you land it on a magic shield, or you land it anywhere. Use Consort, get the magic shield. Magic shield effect happens. Get the Flaming Fist or some other core you want, and now you have 3 cores on your Hail Titan Nilius, and it's only 4 costs. That's pretty early in the game. That's dropping at a pretty early stage in the game. It's very, very good. Like, you will not be getting that evolution in this deck though. You will get the Hyper Chaos Nilius, which is a 2 cost. It has a Magic Shield effect and a Flaming Fist effect. I believe the Magic Shield effect is plus 200, and the Flaming Fist effect is plus 2 damage. I believe this stat line is 606. In a final build, this isn't something I would really recommend running, but it's a decent enough card. It's a decent enough card. Unfortunately, you don't really have a whole lot of other Magic Shields and Flaming Fists in here, so that's unfortunate. Of the sets, I would rank this number 2, but this is, like, when it comes to getting exclusives, this is the one that I would prioritize the most, because Chaos Nilius, as I said, I think is one of the most powerful Bakugan in the current game. Aquos Fangzor. Now, do keep in mind that Chaos Nilius is also the sort of thing that you kind of need to build around because it wants a lot of magic shields. Now, another really nice thing about this one is Aquos Fangzor. Aquos Fangzor is one of the go-to Aquos Bakugan right now, because it has a solid stat line of 601, which makes it pretty easy for it to win battles because it's starting off with that 600 beat. And then its evolution, which you will get one of in this pack. You will get one of it. That evolution is 4 cost, 1000 B power, 3 damage, and when you play this card, you draw 3 cards. So for any like mid-range or control-based deck, this is basically the go-to Aquos, because it has good power for winning games in the early game, and then it evolves into this thing that has 1000 B power, which is very important because 1000 B power is around the level that most evolutions, like, that's the range where even the high-end, really high-cost evolutions tend to go around. There's not a whole lot that much higher than that. So that transitions really well into late game, and it will replenish your hand so that you can keep playing cards. The other high rarity stuff in here is Mind Flood, which is not fantastic. And is that it? Colonel Armstrong Trip, I don't recall being that high rarity, so that might be it. Colonel Armstrong Trip is the hero in this one. I'm not too big a fan of it, but it's decent enough. It's 3 costs when your Bakugan attacks, which is basically when you win a battle. You draw a card, which is decent, but there are better cards you can run, especially in an Aquos deck. And there's some decent cards in here. Tides is good, Greater Water Boost is good, Power Ritual, Sifting Ashes, Fireball, Bone Defense is decent, though this isn't something that I've run in any of my final builds. As for the cores, we have some solid stuff. Magic Shield plus 600. This isn't the best Magic Shield you can get, though. Helix plus 600B, minus 3 damage. This is the highest B power boosting Helix. Fire Fist plus 150B plus 4 damage. Fire Fist plus 250B plus 3 damage. These are the best 2 Fire Fists you can get. Yeah, there's good stuff here. There's good stuff here. So that is it for the starter sets. As I said, I would highly recommend it against the Aquos Garganoid Ultra one, the Chaos Hellcore Ultra one, and the Pyrus Hydrus Ultra one. Both have quite a bit going for them. But I think the best one overall is, I don't know, for the Bakugan, Pyrus Hydrus Ultra is definitely the best one. And for the cards, Chaos Hellcore Ultra is the best one. Pick one up depending on what stuff you want. If you're looking for darkest stuff, there really isn't all that much you can get out of the starter sets, unfortunately. Same applies to Ventus. It's really just, the starter sets really only really help for Chaos, Aquos, Pyrus, and Aurelis people. Unfortunately that's the case right now. what to talk about next? Let us talk about the battle packs next. The battle packs are not great value. I'm gonna be honest with you. For 2 out of 3 of these, you are paying $30 for a bunch of crap, for like 5 crap action cards, and mostly Bakugan you don't care about. But there's one exception. This one right here. This one is the best battle pack. This one is super good value, because it has a bunch of exclusives. The trouble with the battle packs is really that there's a bunch of exclusives in them. And most of the exclusives in here aren't very good competitively, but this has a bunch of really good exclusives. Like, most of the battle packs, there will be like one good exclusive that you'll really want, and the others will be like kind of crap. But this one is really good. So, this comes with Aurelius Garganoid Ultra, Darkest Hydorus Ultra, Ventus Dragonoid, Pyrus Trox, and the Aquos Fangzor. We already talked about why Aquos Fangzor is good. This obviously isn't exclusive to this, but this is the only other place you can get other than the Star Set. So if you're not interested in picking up the Star Set, if you don't want that Chaos Nilius, then this is the other place you can pick it up. Aurelius Garganoid Ultra is one of the best Aureliuses for raw power. It is 703, comes with a Fire Fist and a Fist, and it has the Fire Fist ability to get another plus 400B. Darkest Hydorus Ultra is really good. Darkest Hydorus Ultra is the only Bakugan in the current game that has 800B. It has a stat line of 800B and 1 damage. It comes with Fire Fist and a Fist, and has the ability to get another 3 damage when you use its when you land on a Fire Fist. Of note, also, Aurelius Garganoid has a really early game Evo that can upgrade its stats, so it transitions pretty quickly into the later game. Very aggressive card. Ventus Dragonoid does not have fantastic stats. It's at 204, but it comes with double Helix, and it's very good for a Helix control based deck because its Evo, which comes out at 3 costs, has the Victor ability to draw a card, so it can be very good for keeping your hand size sustained. And Pyrus Trox is an interesting Bakugan, 501, and it has the Victor ability to gain 1 temporary energy, which means it lasts until end of turn, and once the turn ends, you lose it. Its Evo is very bad. The only Evo it has right now is very bad because it's 2 costs to only gain 100B and 1 damage, and upgrade its Victor ability to give you 2 temporary energy. But this can get you stuff out early, and there are decks around temporary energy that you can build that use Pyrus as a core component that you'd probably want Pyrus Trox for. You probably want that. For cards, nothing really of note here except for Cycling Light. Cycling Light is pretty good. Chaos 1 cost. It's a common though, so like nothing amazing here. Cores, we have some cores that I talked about previously as being good. 600B minus 3 damage Helix, plus 250B plus 3 damage Fire Fist, plus 150B plus 4 damage Fire Fist. The other ones. Chaos Serpentese, Ventus Howl Core. Chaos Serpentese Ultra is an okay Bakugan. It has a place in shield decks right now, but that's because there's a really big lack of options in shield decks right now, and as soon as we get better shield options, I think Chaos Serpentese Ultra will get kicked. The biggest problem I see with Chaos Serpentese Ultra is while its base form is okay, a bit weaker than Chaos Pegatrix, but the big problem is that its evolution, which comes out of 2 cost, is only 700B base, and that's too low. Aurelius Nilius is a pretty good card for the discard base deck that does not exist yet because there aren't enough good cards for it. Pyrus Hydra, because its Evo can play itself free if you discard it. Pyrus Hydorus, there's nothing really good going on here. It has an Evo that gains damage rating every time you play an action on it, but its power isn't high enough to really take advantage of that. The real winner from here is Darkest Trox. Darkest Trox has solid baseline stats at 701, and it has an evolution for 3 cost, 903, that forces your opponent to forces one of the players you choose to discard a card. So this is something that could very easily go into that discard based deck when we have enough good cards for it, because it can proc your effects by making you discard a card. But more importantly, this is basically the top mid-range pick, I think, for decks that are including Darkus right now, because it has a very high base power of 700, which is only matched or beaten by Hydrus Ultra from Darkus and Aurelius Bakugan. And so it's very good at winning early battles, and then it has the ability that when you evolve it into a 900B thing that will transition well throughout the game, it'll then also force your opponent to -1. Very, very good. Pyrus Maxitor Ultra, Aquos Mantinoid Ultra, nothing really good here. Exclusives are Pyrus Maxitor Ultra, Aquos Mantinoid Ultra, Chaos Fangzor, Ventus Pegatrix. The Ultras here are really bad. They're mainly like vanilla beat sticks. Darkus Hydrus comes in other places, and not all that, nothing really to write home about here. Ventus Pegatrix is relatively low statted, but it gains like big stat bonuses on magic shields. Like his evolution is 600 base, and it gets plus 1000 B when on a magic shield. But it's a bit too risky, and most of the time will not be worth it, especially since you can only bring 3 magic shields in. If you get really good at rolling, this could be something that's worth, but not something I'd really recommend. Chaos Fangzor, though, is very good. If you can find this on, like, if you can get this off someone without having to go into this battle pack, get it. Like, this is the most, so most of the Chaos Bakugan need, like, a kind of specific deck, like either core type, or in the case of Garganoid Ultra, they really need a deck built around heroes. Fangzor doesn't really care. Fangzor is a 107. Now that base B power is really bad, but as soon as you're in domination, as soon as domination is online, it becomes 500. So 507 are like ludicrous stats. 507 is better than Aurelius stats. It's really, really good. And since Chaos has very natural synergy with Pyrus, which removes your opponent's Baku cores, works well there. And Pyrus has cards that change the win condition to being by damage. And Chaos Fangzor has the highest base. Yeah, Chaos Fangzor has the highest base damage in the game. There are other Bakugan that have the same base damage, like Aquos Trox. I think that's the only other one that's out right now. But this is the best Bakugan with that base power, damage, and its B power is able to go up to a respectable 500 as soon as you're in dominance, which is really easy to do if you're carrying Pyrus with stuff like Hot Potato and Inferno Wing. So Chaos Fangzor is really, really good. Only really cares about if you're able to make domination. Also has a nice even split of shield and fist. So if you're going for like a mono Chaos build, the best way to do that right now would be Serpentine Ultra, Fangzor, and Pegatrix. Because you get an even split between your shield and fist cores thanks to Fangzor, and you get some really good stuff there. Okay, so that's it for the battle packs. Let's talk about the core singles now. The core singles. So, Relic Dragonoid would not recommend picking up. It's 406, evolves into a 608 at 1 cost, and that does not transition well into the later stages of the game at all. Darkus Fangzor, this is a solid card. It comes in a starter pack that we're going to be talking about very soon, but if you aren't interested in the other things in that starter pack, you just want to build like Mono Darkus, then just pick it up. It comes with natural Shadow Strike, which means its stats can't be reduced. So, like, a Mono Darkus deck that really focuses on a bunch of trap cores really likes Fangzor because it's a really good first roll before you can drop your C hero card that gives all of your Darkus Bakugan Shadow Strike. So this is a really solid card. It evolves at turn 3 or 4, something like that, into a 905. So this is a solid Bakugan, solid stats, solid stat lineup. Natural Shadow Strike is nice. Diamond Dragonoid is just normal Dragonoid. Drago, I already went over what's good about this. If you don't want to pick up the star set, pick it up here, whatever. Hydrus, Aquos Hydrus. Aquos Hydrus is really good, especially in like a Fury-based deck. It's 206, so this is something that you might want to play with Pyrus because of those Pyrus cards that alter the victory condition to highest damage. As you can see, 206, very good high damage. And other than that, it has a 3-cost Evo Hyper Hydorus that is 510, and every time you play an action card on it, it gets plus 200B. Very, very strong card, especially since Aquos is all about playing multiple cards in a turn. Even has 0-cost cards, has some very good 1-cost cards. In Mono Aquos, that makes Flooding Waters into a plus 800 1-cost. It's like very good, and like that 10 damage continues to synergize very strongly with those power strategies that I keep talking about. Darkest Nilius is solid, not awful, not something I'd really carry right now. I think its evolutions aren't very good, but if you wanted to pick this up, it's not the worst thing. It's better than a lot of Darkest Bakugan, if I'm being perfectly honest. It could get better evolutions in the future to really help it along, but I would not pick it up in the single pack ever. Even if you don't want the other things in the starter pack it comes in, it also comes in one of the Baku storages. The same applies to Aquos Hydorus. This also comes in a starter pack. I would not pick up either of these as core singles, because both of these, as well as Pyrus Drago, they all come in a Baku storage with everything that their core single does, as well as a storage case. So it is just better value to pick them up there if you have any interest in the storage cases. Chaos Pegatrix. This is basically the best way to get it, unless you find the Diamond starter pack, which does come with a Diamond Chaos Pegatrix. Otherwise, this is the only way to get Pegatrix, and as I've mentioned before, Pegatrix is very good in a fist-based deck. It's basically going to be consistently like an 807. And its evolution is 4-cost, 1004. And when it's on a fist core, it gets another plus 500B and plus 5 damage. So very, very good aggressive card. Trox. This also comes in the same Diamond starter pack that Chaos Diamond Pegatrix does. This has some decent evolutions, but I don't think it's the best Ventus Bakugan you can go for. Ventus Fangzor is a lot better. Ventus Fangzor, like the sort of deck that Trox goes into, Trox's evolutions are like based on energizing the top card of your deck. But that kind of deck, the kind of deck that wants that sort of thing, is a slower kind of deck, and Fangzor honestly helps that sort of deck out a lot more. So I cannot really recommend Ventus Trox that much. Ultras. Aurelus makes Maxitor. I tried this card out for a bit. It's not very good. Its stat line is very lackluster for an Aurelus. This is the same stat line that we saw in Aquos Fangzor. This is the stat line you kind of expect out of a non-Aurelus Bakugan. It's not very good. Aquos Hydorus Ultra. This comes as a Diamond and a normal Hydorus Ultra, of course. This is very good, especially in Mono Aquos. So it has a respectable stat line of 404. And its evolution at 3 cost is Hyper. I believe it's another Hyper. And I can't remember its stat line. Its stat line is something solid, but it has the victor ability of playing any Aquos card from your hand that is 4 cost or lower. There aren't any worthwhile Aquos cards, like except for like Garganoid Ultra, that are more than 4 cost. So why that's important is because there is a Maximus evolution for this as well, which allows you to play any Aquos card when you win with it, but it's much higher cost. It's like 7 or 8 cost, something like that. And like there's no reason to use that card because every worthwhile Aquos card is 4 cost or lower. So if you're going to use this, you need to pick it up from a single because it's the only place you can find it. But also keep in mind, that you should only be picking up the Hyper evolution, not the Maximus, because the Maximus provides nothing. Chaos Garganoid is something I already mentioned. If you're going for a hero-based deck, you really want this because it has a 3-cost evolution, 705 or something like that, and it gets like plus 500B, plus 5 damage when you have 3 or more heroes on the field. So it has very high synergy with that sort of deck. Darkest Howlcore, not very good. Its evolution is very flip focused. It gets damage for each flip in your discard pile. I'll go into it more in the big Darkest video, but not very good, not worth your time. Mansonoid Ultra for Ventus is a solid Bakugan. I think this is something worth picking up for Ventus. For a more aggressive Ventus deck, Mantinoid Ultra is very good because it has the best baseline stats of any of the Ventus Bakugan. Nothing else in Ventus has 600B starting out. And its evolution is 1001 for 4 costs. As I've mentioned a lot before, 1000B power is around the level you want to be as your evolution, because that will be able to compete with a lot of other evolutions. And it gains +1 damage rate. It's still 1 damage rating, but it gains +1 damage rating for each energy. So it's always going to be at least 1005. And will only get better as the game goes on. So solid card. And Power Serpentine Ultra, this is something you want if you plan on building any sort of Fury deck. Because Serpentine's Ultra's evolution is the reason to run Fury. Serpentine's Ultra is, its evolution is 2 cost. I can't remember, like, it becomes like, it's like 507 for its base stats. Yeah, it's 507. And then when it's in Fury, it gets plus 1000B and plus 5 damage. It becomes a 1500B, 12 damage monstrosity when you're under Fury. It is the reason to run Fury. So if you have any intention of running a Fury deck, you're going to want to pick this up. This is the only way you're going to be able to get it. It doesn't come in anything else. Starter packs. So, there's a lot of similar stuff going on here as with the battle packs, but let's get into it. This right here, the Relish one, is basically the best one you can pick up. Darkest Fangzor, Aquos Hydros, both Bakugan I talked about being good. They both come in here, as does Aurelius Howl Core, which is the one good Howl Core. This is very good for a Magic Shield based deck. You want to pick this up if, like, which the sort of deck that you'd be running Chaos Nilius in. This is something you want to pick up. This is the best value battle pack. All 3 of them Bakugan in it are really good. Yeah, really good value. Darkest Mantinoid, because of the lack of good discard stuff, Darkest Mantinoid is not fantastic, but Pyre's Fangzor can get natural double strike in a fist-based deck, so that's very strong. And Arouse Nilius, yeah, I talked about why this card is very potentially good in the future already. So if you're like interested in that like discard style, this is probably a good one to pick up, because Darkest Mantinoid's Mantinoid Ultra's evolution will be good probably when that deck eventually gets enough good cards. But unfortunately right now the base power of 400 is a joke. Diamond Maxator Ultra's starter pack, I mentioned this before, but Ventus Maxator Ultra himself is not very good. He only has a 305 stat line, which is okay, as I talked with Chaos Nilius before, but its evolutions are just beat sticks. They're just vanillas. Like, overcost vanillas like that. Like, 4 cost 808 is not, that's not what you want to be seeing out of your 4 cost. But this one is rather rare, but it comes with the Chaos Pegatrix and Ventus Truck, so it's decent value, especially since they're diamonds. Chaos Hydros Ultra. This one comes with Aquos Trox, Chaos Hydros Ultra, and Dark Dragonoid. None of these Bakugan are very good. They're all rather lackluster. Would not recommend this one. This is a normal Ventus Maxator Ultra one. Now, Ventus Maxator Ultra is not very good, but it does come with Darkest Nilius, and it also comes with Aquos Pegatrix, which is a very good Bakugan for a shield-based deck. Highly recommend picking this up. This is the only place you can get Aquos Pegatrix, so if you want this for your shield-based deck, you're going to need to pick this up. So if you have any interest in Darkest Nilius as well, in addition to that, like, don't get it in the single, get it here. Pyre's Mantinoid Ultra. Now, Ventus Nilius, Pyre's Mantinoid Ultra, not very good Bakugan. Aurelius Fangzor, though, only place you can get this, and it's very good for shield-based decks. It's a 702 that gets plus 5 damage when it's standing on a shield core. So, very good Bakugan here. These 2 are not so great, but you need them if you want this. Also, I believe all of these are exclusives to this. Yeah, all of these are exclusives to this. And then Aquos Serpentine Ultra. Aquos Serpentine Ultra revolves around... Oh, right, Ventus Pegatrix does come in another thing. Right, I forgot about that. It does actually come in here. But Aquos Serpentine Ultra is not very good. It's focused on Frost Strike, which is not a very strong mechanic. Aurelius Hydros is not great. Its evolution is like very overcosted for what it does. Base stat line, very lackluster for an Aurelus. Yeah, so I would not recommend this one. This one is not what I think you should be going for. Hey, what's this image? Garganoid Ultra? Aurelus Pegatrix? You're trying to fool me here? Okay. Last thing. Last couple things. The Battle Arena. If you want the Battle Arena, pick this up. But the Bakugan you're getting in it, not very good. The card you're getting in it, not very good. Actually, I forgot to mention something. The Aurelus Howlcore Ultra, it also comes with a card called Flooding Waters, which is a super stable card in Mono Aquos. So it's also good in that regard. It's like the only, like none of the other cards that come in these star packs are any good. That's why I wasn't really mentioning them. Same with the Ultra Singles packs. Like, they don't come with any good cards. And the Deluxe Card Collection. For these, what matters here is the cores that come in them. And the cores that come in them, Aquos Hydrus, you'll be getting the same ones as you would be getting with Hydrus Ultra. So, Shield, Aquos Darkus plus 400B, Shield minus 300B. Aquos Darkus stuff, good. Darkus Nilius will come with the same ones as Darkus Nilius Ultra, which just starts showing up in some stores. So, the same Aquos Darkus plus 400B Shield and Shield minus 200B. Strictly worse than the Hydrus one. You're getting strictly worse cores there, so I wouldn't bother. And Pyrus Dragonoid. This is the one I'd pick up, because the Pyrus Dragonoid card collection comes with the Magic Shield plus 650B, and that's the best Magic Shield. So if you have any intention of using Magic Shields, I would recommend picking up the... I would only pick up this card collection because it comes with that 650B. And the Fire Fist it comes with is the 250B plus 3 damage. This is my personal favorite Fire Fist. So, Flaming Fist, sorry. Flaming Fist. So I would just go for, like, for card collections, I would just go for this one because I think it has the best cores. Now that has been going for quite a while. That's been going for a good 40 minutes. But this would be a pretty in-depth guide to help you figure out what stuff you want to pick up from one competitive player to another. I hope this was helpful, and I'll be getting into the big analysis videos next. See you guys next time.